As everybody else. Inside are those who are getting richer and richer through this pandemic. Outside are those who are falling farther and further behind. We need to find a way of tearing down that wall. Now, like Ronald Reagan, tear down that wall. Well, it worked for him. Let's tear down this wall. The way to do it is with a bank owned by the public. It has a fiduciary responsibility to everyday people. Its obligation is not to enrich the pockets of the few, but to make sure all of our pockets keep up. That is called a public bank. We, the public, deserve, indeed, demand a public bank. I see a giant Christmas tree. Well, if St. Nick is up there somewhere, and I would encourage you to look. But if you're up there, St. Nick, I want you to just bring me one small thing. It's called justice. And justice you can put a $sign on. Yes, that too. In fact, you should have told me my speech before, my friend. You've been giving a better one than I ever could, I concede. But justice and liberty. We'll work this together, my friends. Justice and liberty, anything else, sir? Must all come down. Look, I said it. He said it better than I ever could. Don't we need a public bank, sir? We need a public bank. You heard our resident expert, the man on the street itself, said that we need a public bank. Having said that, I don't think I couldn't top that if I tried. So St. Nick, I'd encourage you to hurry up. You can leave now, bring all the rest of the gifts. Quit giving me that lump of coal. Yes, it's true, I deserve it, but give justice and liberty this year, and you can keep the rest of my gifts. Thank you for everyone being there. I'm going to another fight with the Port Authority, which they need some justice too. One fight at a time. God bless you all. I am in this fight until we win it. Yes. Thank you, my co-leader. We're on the right track. Public bank! Public bank! Public bank! Public bank! Public bank! Woo!
Thank you so much, Senator Sanders. After the speech, I got a good feeling about this. We're going to get a public bank in 2022, right? So next up, we have another amazing champion who's always been an incredible ally for our movement. I am proud to introduce Assemblymember Yuli New.
I can never top Jim Sanders in any speaking engagement. But I want to say this. I want to say that this is the coalition that has been fighting against predatory lending, that has been fighting to make sure that we are putting the taxes on the right folks, and that we are making sure that we are actually holding our government accessible and transparent and accountable to us. And I wanted to just say also that I have some amazing friends here that obviously, Amanda, you didn't get introduced, but I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. I just wanted to say that, this is an amazing time when we have more than ever seen the need for a public bank, right? We are talking about issue after issue after issue. This pandemic has shown the economic inequality that our people are facing every single day. The rich have gotten richer and the poor have gotten poorer, and we need to change this right now. We have seen my seniors in my district. By the way, welcome to my district. I don't know if you noticed, but right now we are standing on Wall Street, but just up the block, we have Smith houses, we have public housing, we have Chinatown. And I want to tell you that right now, even robocalls alone, these predatory phone calls to some of our seniors are making it so that they are losing millions of dollars. My district has been fleeced of millions millions of dollars just through predatory phone calls. And I just want to tell you also that, you know, we have seen this predatory behavior when the banks were doling out the PPPs, right? It was like completely inequitable. They were giving it out to their own VIP clients rather than the small businesses in our communities. Our small businesses were needing these PPPs. Our small businesses were needing this help more than ever.
That's right.
Some of our communities lost so much business. Chinatown was shuttered not just because of the pandemic, but because of another pandemic called racism. And we saw that a lot of our businesses lost business. And we need to make sure that this help was going to the small businesses that needed the most. And yet, these big banks did not prioritize us. They prioritized, I don't know, Ruth Chris? So I just want to say that, Shake Shack, right? But I want to say that, you know, this is when we need a public bank. We have seen it time after time after time. A public bank would have made a different choice. A public bank would have made sure that those federal dollars went to our small businesses. A public bank would have made sure that the investments were in our communities. We need to make sure that we are actually investing in fossil fuels. We're making sure divesting from fossil fuels and investing in clean energy. And we need to make sure that we are actually fighting for the things that we need to change now. We don't need to be investing in things that our communities don't want, right? We don't need to be investing in the harmful things that are actually pulling more resources from our communities. We need to be making sure that we are investing in us, in our affordable housing, in our parks, right? In the things that will bring us health and wealth. So we need to make sure that we are funding a public bank, and we need to make sure that we are starting one right now. This gentleman is holding up a sign. These are the fees, the overdraft fees, the maintenance fees, and the ATM fees that our banks have been charging us time after time after time. Did you know that if you have an account that holds more than $150,000 in it, that you don't have any of these fees? Shame! If you have an account that has less than $500 in it, you're paying fee after fee after fee after fee. Why? Why this disparity? When you have less, they take more from you. When you have more, they take nothing from you and give you things. Like, this is not fair. This is inequitable. And so we need to change this right now. In fact, the legislature just this last year, passed a bill that would make it so that the checks that you deposit are taken from the smallest amount up, so that you're and deposited in order by date. Instead of taking the largest amount and then making it so that you're paying fee after fee after fee. So we can change these inequitable systems. We need to make sure that we have a public bank to show them how this works. Thank you so much for everything. We cannot do it without the advocates. We cannot do it without our unions. Thank you, DC 37. Thank you, CWA. We can't do it without you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Assembly Member. Whose street?
Our street!
Whose street?
Our street!
Whose street?
Our streets!
That was a trick. No one said Wall Street, you will pass. So next up, I'm going to invite another amazing champion who's been very supportive of us in Albany. I'm very proud to announce our next speaker is Assembly Member Amanda Septimo.
Hi everyone, I'm Amanda Septimo. I represent the 84th Assembly District in the South Bronx. And on the 1st and about 8th or 9th of every single month, if you come to my district, you will see lines out the door for every single thing. And that's because big banks don't see the need to invest in communities like the South Bronx. For the entire Bronx, there are about 10 fully functional Bank of America branches for about 1.5 million people. When you come to Midtown, you can stand at one Bank of America and see another one. And we know that those decisions speak of the values that these banks have. And those values don't represent any sort of commitment to our communities. We need a public bank because finally we are all stepping up and coming together to say that we will not accept the false reality that prosperity is only available to some people in New York. We know that there is tremendous power in state and city government, and that power is directly connected to all of the money that state and city government have and can use to transform our community. Public banking is a major step in that direction, making sure that our dollars that feed into these taxes, our dollars that sit in those bank accounts, are finally coming to bear for our communities and returning dividends to the people, because for so long that has been no one's number one priority. So I want to thank every single one of you for being in this fight, because no matter how long it takes, public banking will be a victory that will transform people's lives. And until we recognize the importance of that on the city and on the state level, we cannot be serious about conversations about economic justice. We are not being serious about opening paths to prosperity, about changing people's opportunity to break cycles of generational poverty. Every single one of you is contributing to the effort that will open up all those paths to prosperity for every New Yorker, and I want to say thank you.
When I say public, you say bank.
Public.
Bank. That's fine. So next up, I'm going to call on Assemblymember Kim, who's been so supportive of us, always talking about public banking. Assemblymember Ron Kim, everyone.
When I say cancel, you say Wall Street. Cancel.
Wall Street.
Cancel.
Wall Street.
How much do you think we're paying interest every single year to Wall Street? 1 billion? 2 billion? 3 billion? New York City pays $3.7 billion for just its interest alone. All the services that is paid.
Ray, double that, man. Look at all the
I'm not with that. I'm not with that guy.
Yeah, you might be.
As a country, we pay $160 billion a year just in interest to Wall Street. I'm gonna say something real today. Most politicians, without public banking, are mere facilitators of private capital. Most politicians, without public banking, are mere facilitators of private capital. We need public control of all the failing markets. And whenever we go to Albany, whenever we legislate, all we debate about is about market stability, about industry stability. What about the people? What about the people who are literally dying? They're not getting poor, they're getting killed because of a broken market system as we speak. That's what public banking does for us. It underwrites public capital, public goods, all the things that we need in the middle of the pandemic and beyond. But we don't have that because we don't have public capital. 40 years ago, there was a time when we checked public-private capital, and we had progressive taxes. We didn't give preferential treatment to capital gains, and we had a balanced mixed economy. But after 43 years of unleashed private capital, we're at a point it's not sustainable. That is why we need public capital. I was actually with Yulene 2 years ago with the head of the North Dakota Public Bank, just a couple of blocks from here. And in that state, every dollar that gets invested gets recirculated. It creates jobs for the people of North Dakota, and we need that in New York. Thank you all.
Thank you.
When I say public, you say bank. Public.
Bank.
Public.
Bank.
When I say public, you say bank. Public.
Bank.
Public.
Bank.
When I say public, you say bank. Public.
Bank.
Public.
Bank.
Thank you so much to our leaders in Albany. We have so much support in the state legislature. I want to call on one more of our state leaders. Joining us today will be Senator Jabari Brisport.
Hey, what's up, y'all? State Senator Jabari Brisport from Brooklyn. Brooklyn is in the house. I will be brief. I just want to reiterate that banking and finance, that the moving of money in our economy is fundamental infrastructure, and as such should not be controlled at the behest of a group of rich white men sitting in a boardroom, but controlled by the people in a public bank. The finance sector is one that should be run by the public democratically. I'm not talking about the party. I'm talking about by the people people power, and the public bank is going to be step one in bringing the money into our control.
All right.
Amazing coalition out here.